Robinhood's third quarter earnings, they are just now crossing the wire. Let's get you those results. Stock slipping a bit here, about 2.5%. So it looks like Q3 EPS clocks in at 61 cents. I do not see a clean compare there just yet. I'm looking for revenue. There it is, 1.27 billion. Consensus was at 1.21 billion. Adjusted EBITDA for Q3, that looks like a beat, 742 million. Expectations closer to 727 million. By segment, crypto revenue, that came in at 268 million. That's versus consensus of 287.2 million there. Looking for some change in the C-suite as well. Jason Warnick is announcing his intention to retire. They are naming Shiv Verma as the next CFO. They are not providing, it looks like, a 2025 outlook for total operating expenses. Initial dip right here, of course, remember that this stock has been just a rocket ship. It had tremendous growth this year. Obviously a platform well known for trading stocks, for trading cryptocurrencies, among other assets, but it has been a winner. I mean, heading into this print, this one was up 270% this year, heading into this report, giving back, at least initially here, 3% down the after hours. I want to bring in here Christian Bolu, Senior Analyst at Autonomous Research. Christian, good to see you. So the report hits the wires, at least initially, Christian investors selling this one off. We're down about 4%, but I'm interested to get your reaction to the results. What do you make of them?
Yeah, it just hit. And Josh, thanks for having me on. Look, I think it's a pretty solid print here. Look, I think the context obviously is stocks rallied quite significantly yet to date. Expectations are very, very high on this one. But if you look at all the sort of numbers that investors tend to really care about, obviously top and bottom line beat. And it seems like very strong acceleration of net deposits, which is sort of your core measure of organic growth in September, one of the strongest months for that. So I think all in very good. But, again, to my point here, high expectations, some news about the CFO retiring, and we can talk about that if you want. Maybe all that's playing into some quick initial slowdown in the stock here.
Yeah, to your point, Christian, I mean, this one was a rocket ship. It was up about 270% year to date heading into the print. As they move beyond sort of the bread and butter trading, Christian, into other avenues, other opportunities, the prediction markets, the global prediction markets is one that's gotten a lot of attention. I'm curious, as an analyst covering the name, what kind of opportunity you think that could create for Robinhood looking ahead?
I think it's pretty significant on a number of fronts. One is diversification away from trading type activities in terms of the volatility around trading. So prediction markets, a lot of that is sports related, has a completely different activity cycle from trading. So ultimately makes the company much more diversified, which in theory should make it a more valuable earning stream over time. And then from a revenue perspective, it could be very significant. Just look at Robinhood versus traditional sports betting businesses. The business today is quite small in prediction markets. So just on that alone, you should see a ton of growth. But ultimately, prediction markets can be a lot bigger than that. Predictions on politics, predictions around company fundamentals, macroeconomic outlook. All these things are very new markets, potentially huge markets, especially if institutional money comes into the space. So I think this could be a very big business for Robinhood over time.
Should I make anything as an investor about the crypto business here? It did jump, but it missed consensus, Christian. Anything to see there?
Crypto has been a little bit soft, and we're coming off, a pretty strong period of growth. So we'd have to dig into numbers a little bit more to see if there's anything in particular. From what I can see, my sense here is just a softer market for retail, given prices are a little bit weaker. Remember, retail crypto engagement tends to be very driven by crypto prices. And obviously Robinhood is very levered to retail crypto.
I know, Christian, you did meet with Robinhood management. I'm just curious, what did you learn there?
Quite a bit. So we met with the entire management team. We were out there in the West Coast to see their management team, and I think pretty impressive management team. Obviously, a lot has been talked about things like the growth in the business, their innovation, etc., all very well known. But I think what I came away with is just how disciplined an organization they are, how repeatable their innovation is, the strength of the technology stack. These things drive, I think, much more sustainable growth going forward. And my almost my takeaway is that this is not just a meme stock trading company. This is a real business with a very disciplined management team that knows how to drive consistent innovation in a very disciplined way from an expense perspective. And you'll see that in the results, whether it's top line growth, expense discipline, margin expansion, all these things are showing sort of, the company to be really maturing here as they grow.
Final question, Christian. This one is trading here at around 65 times forward earnings. I know you're bullish on the name, so I'm just curious how you think about valuation.
Yeah, it's a really good question. This one is very, very highly valued. We think about it in two pieces. We sort of value the business as is today. If we assume what typically happens, slowdown in growth over time and things like that, would value that company about $120 per share. And we have more of a bull case scenario where we sort of like assume much more growth in prediction markets, much more market share growth in crypto, growing the investment business to be much more levered to long-term investors. And you put it all together, and we think the business could be worth something like $300 a share. We put a 25% probability on that, and if you blend those two things out, you get more like $170. So, I think pick your poison, like pick the way you want to analyze it. If you kind of looking at business today, about $120. If you want to look at the bull case, we think is near 300.